Alright, I know this is bad lighting. I'm gonna get a ring light soon, hopefully soon. But I wanted to show y'all how I make my fat bombs. Right now I'm heating up some coconut oil in the microwave so I can pour into here. And I have everything else ready. But if you want to know the full recipe and everything, like you want to be able to snapshot it or screenshot it or whatever and save it, one, I have it in my Pinterest. If you go on my Laura Johnson Pinterest, link is down below. If you go in there, I have, you know, my Laura Johnson blogs board, and there you can get all of my like recipes or looks or blogs. Anything that I post on my website is on there, and any videos that I make is also on there. And yeah, so I'm going to show y'all how I make my fat bombs. I got this from the Keto Connect. I change a few parts in this myself to make it taste a little bit better, smoother, just better. And yeah, so on the Keto Connect, they kind of do like a 1-to-1 ratio. For every 1/4 of coconut oil, you add, so for every 1/4 of coconut oil, you add 1 scoop or 2 scoops of protein powder. But when I found out, when you actually do the 2 scoops of protein powder, you actually use 1/4 of a cup of protein powder. And I was like, well, that's pretty much, you know, for every 1/4 of coconut oil, you add 1/4 of protein powder. So I added 1/3 of coconut oil for every 2 scoops of protein powder. But, I add 1/3 coconut oil in 1/4 cup, this is 1/4 cup of protein powder, and I took 2 scoops. So if you have a small scoop like this, use 2 of these, but if you have the longer ones, use only 1 of those. So each one is the same, and they add up to about 1/4 of a cup. And so yeah, once you, let me get the protein powder out. Sorry if this is kind of going a little weird. I'm gonna put y'all over here, and I'm actually gonna go ahead and cook. Okay, so we're gonna have it on low. We're gonna let that kind of heat up. I'm gonna already pour this in so it stays heated and it stays all melted. And normally if I get coconut oil on my hands, I just rub it on my skin because it's good for your skin. So what we want to do is wait until this is warm, and I'm gonna go ahead and take my 1/4 scooper and scoop it out. And what I like to do is take the back of this one, or you can't even see, so scoop it out, and I take the back of this and scrape the rest of it off, so it's like that. And we're just gonna set this one to the side. I'm gonna try and have it to where, okay, so we're gonna set that one to the side. We're gonna put this up, and this is the protein that I use, but I accidentally picked up this one. The thing about the protein shake is it's pretty much laxative in a cup, and I didn't want, like, that's unhealthy. So I didn't want to waste it, so I still use it. I just use it very little because it will deplete you and dehydrate you of everything. So have that in mind when you do buy weight loss supplements. And we're adding the 2 scoops by itself into the coconut oil, so it's gonna be a little bit more concentrated. And when you put them in here, it's gonna be 10 servings, and one little thing is gonna be 66 calories. But you could eat all of them, but I wouldn't because it's so concentrated. If I had mixed the 1 cup in here, then filled these up, then you could have eaten them all. We are gonna start with this, because this is now warm. I can feel it. And we're gonna add that in there. And you want it on a low setting because this will end up kind of being like chocolate. It'll be like a chocolatey consistency. And we're just gonna keep stirring gently. I don't know if you can see. Let me take that off for a second because it's actually starting to bubble already. So I'm trying to get it to where y'all can see. It's not really working in my favor. And you just want to stir it until all the little lumps are pretty much gone. And if you have a whisk, I would use a whisk. But this silicone thing, it helps, I don't know, it just helps get in the corners really good. Just like doing this. Pour it to where it goes down. Hold on, let me do it this way. But I pour it to where it goes down the spatula. And we don't want to fill it up too much, because we still need to put in our little stuff. Still kind of okay. If you run into something like this, I've never had this happen, but see, it's a little bit thick. So what we can do is add just a tiny bit more. Since this is pretty much already melted, I'm going to add just a tiny bit more. I'm going to stir it again, get it all hot, because I did not expect it to be that thick. It didn't come out that thick last time. So yeah, this is pretty much like self-explanatory. Like, it's easy to do. Okay, let me get a whisk. I thought that one would be better, but if you have a smaller whisk, use a smaller whisk. Yeah, because this doesn't really help. And it's easier to use a saucepan than it is like one of these pots. All milky again. Just do that. And that. And then the rest can go into the sink. So yeah, and then now that we have that, first off, we should have put this on that before we started, or before we started to pour. But what I have is 60% cacao, dark chocolate. People use 100% or 80%, but 60% is about as dark as I can go. Other than that, it starts tasting really bitter. But I put about 3 to 4 in these. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And this just gives it a nice texture or filling, if you will, on the inside. Apparently, all these ingredients pretty much have a good, whatchamacallit, they all have special things that they do to help the body. like the coconut oil helps you burn more fat, because with the keto diet, that's pretty much what you're trying to do, is burn more fat. And so to burn more fat, you need to add more fat. So what I did, I added a lot more fat to my diet, added less carbs, so less bread. I'll have bread every now and then, but not all the time. I'm trying to stay away from that. But I do get a lot of carbs from fruits and vegetables alone. So I've noticed, like with my zucchini and stuff, when I add that instead of pasta, it cuts my calories in half, for one, so I can actually eat more stuff throughout the day, because 1 cup of pasta is like a lot of calories. There's like 100 to 200 calories or 300 calories, I don't remember, but I rather do zucchini where it's only like 10 calories, you know what I mean? So it's not that big of a difference, but zucchini, like, I like cooking it in the, or I like sauteing it and then putting it in my pasta, and it tastes so good. But this, it's kind of like guilt-free chocolate, except you do have the dark chocolate to it, but the dark chocolate does help with like fatigue when you are in ketosis, because you kind of get this like fog when you're in ketosis. So the dark chocolate actually helps you, bring you out of that fog. And the protein helps you gain muscle and build more muscle mass, so you can, you know, feel, so you can have more energy, so you can build more muscle mass. And also the protein is for like energy and for your pre-workout or post-workout. I know I used to eat protein before and after my workout so I could get those vitamins in, but I would not eat too many of these, because one, it's just protein, coconut oil, and chocolate. It does taste good, and you can eat these, nothing will happen, except for, I don't know about this protein powder, because it is a weight loss protein powder, and it might actually deplete you of all your vitamins. Yeah, I just popped this in the refrigerator for about, or the freezer for about 30 minutes to an hour, till it's like pretty much rock solid, and then I'll show you how it pops out, and it's gonna be awesome. So yeah. One thing not to do, it was kind of spilling into the refrigerator, which is why we did, let me show you. I put it on here, but I would use a small cookie sheet if you could, or just something that you could set it on, because it started dripping, and it's still dripping, but oh well. But I tried licking it, and it tastes disgusting when it's warm, but I promise you it tastes so good when it's cold. So don't taste it while it's warm. It's nasty. It just tastes like oily protein powder. But when it dries, it tastes like chocolate. Trust me. Trust me. Okay, so almost forgot to show y'all, but I took one out of my Fat Bombs, and I popped it in my mouth, and I started chewing it, and I was like, and I like took it out, and I was like, oh well, I'll get another one. But I meant to show y'all what they look like afterwards, and I'm gonna try put them in a Ziploc bag, because I want to make more, so I don't have to keep making them constantly, and I can just have a bag and pop them out whenever. So that's what they look like out of their little molds. So it's a nice little fat bomb. You can just pop into your mouth at any time. So, yep. And then they stay hard as long as they stay cold. It's just like coconut oil. Coconut oil, you know, when you apply a little bit of heat to it, it does kind of melt. So, yeah, but these are like completely frozen. So it's like really hard to take out. But the molds will come out perfect every single time. And then you can even see like the chocolate chips peeking out. So, yeah. And they have like a, you can hear them like crunching coming out. So, yeah. Just pop them in a Ziploc bag. And then you can either take them to work with you, I guess, if you get to work on time before they melt. But you can take these on the way out, as like a breakfast little thing, because these are like jam-packed with protein. Like, just eating 1 or 2 kind of curbs my appetite, but it doesn't, it's not like this. I don't like saying curb your appetite because I don't want it to seem like it's a meal suppressant, because it's not. It actually gives you protein and stuff that your body needs. But yeah, it's my little bitty, it's kind of like chocolate, but it's fat bombs, and they're jam-packed with protein and coconut oil. So yeah, that's what they look like. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope y'all enjoyed this.